If I left, then it made no sense. And you tell your friends and they hold your hands, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. If I left, then it made no sense. And you tell your friends and they hold your hands, baby, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind.
Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I know I'm wearing the same exact outfit and the same makeup look as in my last video, but that is because I stopped that video halfway to film this video. So I'm knocking out two birds with one stone today. So for today's video, I'm going to go through all my little tips and tricks on how to apply false lashes. Because especially for beginners, if you're anything like me, I struggled the first time, actually the first few months trying to apply false lashes. I had a really hard time, and I was constantly trying to ask people and watch videos on just how to apply false lashes because I could not get the hang of it. So along the way, I've learned a couple tips and tricks of my own that I want to share with you guys. So as always, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, just go ahead and hit that button down below so that you don't miss out on any of my videos. And if you want to see how to apply false lashes very simply and easily, let's just go ahead and get started. So for lashes today, I'm going to be using the Ardell lashes in 110, and I think these lashes are great for beginners because they're not too full to where it's going to be hard to put the lashes on, and they have a very thin band, which I recommend for beginners because sometimes the thick bands can be a little hard to get the hang of when you are first learning to put on false lashes. And when taking eyelashes off the packaging, you always want to pull from the very end down here, just because if you pull from the front, you take the chances of ripping the shorter hairs. So when you rip the shorter hairs, it takes it in, and then that kind of throws off the balance of the eyelashes, which you don't want to do. So I'm just going to take my tweezers, and I'm ever so lightly just going to gently pull these off. Sometimes they can be tricky, just don't rush it too much, but at least if a little bit comes off the end, it's not that big of a deal because most of the time you do have to trim the lashes a little bit. So now that I've got it, pull it on the end, I'm just going to gently pull the lash off. Now that I have them laid out, I'm going to pull out some scissors. So I'm going to take this lash and I'm going to put it up to my eye even before I put mascara on or anything. And I'm going to kind of measure it and see how much we need to cut off. So that is pretty big. You don't want to just take the lash right off and put it straight on your eye, because sometimes if it's too long, it can poke you in your inner corner or outer corner. It could be a little irritating to your eye, which you don't want. So I have very tiny eyes, so I usually have to trim quite a bit off. So I'm going to take just a few off the end. So the thing with trimming eyelashes is same with pulling them out of the packaging. You always want to cut from the outer corner, because if you start to trim from this inner corner, you can tell that the eyelashes start off really short and then they get really full. So if you start to cut off these shorter ones, the eyelashes are going to be all one length, which can kind of throw off your eye and how it looks. So I'm going to trim quite a bit off. So I usually just take it, instead of having to measure all over again, I'll usually just line it up and cut off about the same. So I'm just going to do the same on the other eyelash. Alright, next you want to have some eyelash glue, of course. This is one of my favorites that I like to use. It is the Duo glue, and mine is a little squeezy too. I know they make some that are brushes, which work really good as well, but I always resort back to this because I love squeezy tubes, just because I can determine how much glue I really put on. So I get mine in the white/clear. I believe they also make a darker tint one. I like this just because if a little bit of glue does get on my eyeshadow, it's easy just to kind of flake off and it's not going to ruin it at all since it has no tint to it. So I'm just going to take this, and I usually take my tweezers. I don't really recommend using tweezers when applying eyelashes, but I have grown very used to doing it. I just make sure I don't have a very pointy pair. These are very dull. I've had them for years, so I know it's not really going to harm me. So I'm just going to start by taking my lashes on my tweezers. Just going to kind of position. I usually like to take my tweezers almost all the way up to the lash band just to make sure that I'm holding it very secure. Alright, so I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to apply a light coat of it to my lashes, and I'm just going to take this and set it to the side and let it kind of dry for a few seconds, because you don't want to put your lashes directly on after putting glue on them, because you are guaranteed to make a mess if you do that, because the glue is not tacky yet, so it's just really runny and wet still, and so if you apply that to your eye, it's just going to kind of run everywhere, and that's when you will ruin your eyeshadow and get glue in your eyelashes, which is what you don't want. So usually let those dry for a few seconds, and I will come back in and put glue on my other eyelash and usually apply mascara in that process. And then by that time, they're usually tacky enough to apply to my eyes. So now that I have glue applied to the other one, I'm just going to lay that one to the side as well and let it dry. So for mascara, I'm going to take one of my favorites when applying false lashes, and it is the Essence Volume Stylist 18-Hour Lash Extension. So I'm just going to apply a small coat of this to my lashes. And this is great to add mascara before lashes because it just helps your natural lashes blend to the false lashes. And I highly recommend applying a light coat of mascara to your lashes if you have blonde eyelashes, just because false lashes are a black shade, so you want to make your natural lashes as dark as possible to blend them in with the false ones so you don't have that kind of line of different colors. So usually just a small coat, you don't want to cake on too much. So now that those have kind of dried just a little bit and got a little tacky, I'm going to take the first one that I applied glue to, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that to my eyes. I always position the mirror to where I'm looking down because then I can see my eye a lot better. So I'm positioning the mirror down and I take the eyelashes in and I apply it to the middle first. Once it's on, I will take my tweezers and I will go to the outer corner and secure that to my eye. I usually like to hold it just for a few seconds to make sure that it really grabbed. And then I will come to the inner corner and apply that. And just hold it for a few seconds to make sure it grabbed. And just kind of play with it until it feels comfortable and you have your eyelashes in the position that you desire. Once I usually get my lashes on, I'll take my tweezers and go through and just kind of pinch the eyelash, the false eyelash, down to my natural ones, and that just kind of helps push them together so it looks more natural and less like you have false lashes on. Also, another thing I like to do is just lightly close your eye, and in areas that you feel like the eyelashes are popping up, just lightly press it down so that you know it is secured onto your eyelid and that it is not going anywhere. Alright, and then I'm just going to do the same on the other eye. Alright, so once my lashes are applied, I will sit there and just kind of look and see if I need to fix my eyeliner and any spots that the glue may have touched, or if my eyeliner, I didn't add enough to my inner corner and I need to add just a little bit more because the lashes covered it. But this looks pretty good. So after my lashes are on, one thing I really like to do that I've learned is to take a little spoolie brush and I will go through and lightly just kind of comb through them. My dog's hair on this. Just kind of lightly comb through them, and this blends your natural lashes into your false lashes so that your natural ones, since you applied mascara, don't look too clumpy and they're blended into it and makes it look very natural and like it is your own lashes. And then I usually, once I'm done, I don't go back in and add any more mascara because usually the spoolie blends them enough for me. But if you like to, definitely go ahead. I just feel like I get more out of my lashes if I don't add mascara to them. I can usually use a pair of false lashes at least anywhere from 5 to 6 times if they are kept up nicely. Alright you guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope all my little tips and tricks help you to apply false lashes, especially for my beginners out there. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!
If I left, then he